Good morning. Welcome to our morning take. My name is Frank Johnson.
And I'm Abraham Lawrence.
And we have another host,
Nick Seaman.
The professor.
That's right, the Professor Nick. And our goal here is to describe for you the movie that is going on in our head as we read these Bible stories.
And what a movie it is turning out to be, let me tell you.
Today is
Hump Day.
It sure is. Hey, Crystal. Woohoo! Today is Wednesday. It is July the 12th already, and we're on episode 133 for the year.
Wow.
By the way, we found out something this past week as Abe wanted to find episode 29, which was way back in the archives, way back in February, and we could not find it. Like, you go on iHeart, it'll only go back so many episodes. So I thought at first maybe I've done something wrong by having such long seasons. Like maybe we should have just went monthly, maybe. And then that way everything would be grouped in those seasons by month, and you could go back and you could see them. I'm assuming. I guess you go back as many seasons. I don't really know. But they only keep so many podcasts, I guess, right? Is that what you found out, Logan?
Like, yeah.
But Logan, the crack staff that we have here, he was actually go on Podbean, and he actually found episode 29. So if you guys, have an episode out there that you just you can't find anymore, leave us a comment or whatever, and we'll make sure that we can get that to you. So we found episode 29, which happens to be like all about you, Abraham.
Yeah,
I should have figured.
It's some really good listening, too. So episodes 29 through 31, I recommend that.
Yeah,
I highly recommend that. Some great listening.
That was.
Thanks again, Logan. You really came through for me on
Yes,
that.
thank you very much.
Because
That's what Logan does.
the backstory to that is my daughter was listening to the podcast, and she was just overwhelmed. She's like, but there was one missing that she couldn't get, so I, got Logan involved, and he made it happen, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the story. What do you think, Professor?
I think it's a very interesting story.
I'm
Yes.
telling you.
I'm just thinking, though, my wife ever reads this. She says, why don't you ever weep and yell whenever you...
Oh,
I did that one time when you stepped on my foot when we kissed.
You've never yelled and wept when you kiss your wife?
No, just yelled.
let me tell you something. I have wept for the last 15 years.
Oh, my goodness. But you've only been married, what, 6?
Like I said, I've wept over the last 15
I'm just kidding.
years.
Kelly, I'm just kidding.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you very much.
I know we were making light, and it was a little confusing, but obviously he was just overcome with emotion when he saw how beautiful this woman was.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's all it's inferring anyway.
Yeah.
We're in Genesis chapter 29. If you're reading along with us, we're in verse 12. Jacob told Rachel that he was a relative of her father and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father because she knows Aunt Rebekah. So she's saying, so Aunt Rebekah and Uncle Laban. And so when Laban heard the news of Jacob, his sister's son, well, he ran and met him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. He's related to Laban all these things, and Laban said to him, surely you are my bone and my flesh. And you know what? There's a little more here than just what meets the eye, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, because I think Jacob's telling his story. It says that Jacob relates all things to Laban. You reckon he told him the story of the porridge? The pottage? Not porridge.
The stew?
The pottage.
The
porridge.
lentils?
Yeah.
This porridge is just right.
Oh, knowing Jacob, I think he told him what he wanted him to know in relation to that, because you don't want to...
then he got his blessing from his father?
Yeah. I don't think he told him everything.
I don't know, though, but it's funny, though, that Laban would go, you are blood of my blood and bone.
Because they are similar. Similar
exactly
people.
like that.
Similar people.
We're going to find that out about Laban. It's like, those are like 2 peas in a pod right here, these two guys. And he stayed with him a month. This is interesting, too. In the future, we're going to have Professor Nick. He's going to have like these things already ready for us. But Nick, I don't know. I told him I wouldn't put him on the spot. Do you know how long a guest was supposed to stay before he's outstayed his welcome?
No, I don't.
Nick goes, a month. That would have been a good guess. But
Yeah.
no, 3 days.
Nick said it depends on who the guest is.
Yeah.
Whether he wants to marry my daughter or not, right? 3 days.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. And on the fourth day, you need to start working. Right.
Okay.
You need to
Oh,
do something
yeah.
for 3 days. You can stay 3 days for free, and after that, then you got to make some kind of reparations. But because they were relatives or whatever, he let him stay a month. But it does show the grace of Laban.
Yeah.
Because he stayed a whole month before he asked anything for him. Then Jacob said Laban said to Jacob, because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? So what it really means is after the third day, Jacob probably started doing things around there because that's just what you were supposed to do. That was just, 3 days is all you can goof off, and then you need to be doing something. So he'd probably worked for him for about 3 weeks already. And Laban realized that he's not really paying him any wages because they really are related. And he's like, that's not right just because you're my nephew. I mean, I should do something for you. So tell me, what shall your wages be? And I love these Jews, the way they barter, like Abraham in the grave or whatever. Tell me what you want for it. Oh, I don't know. You can just have it. You just no, there's no way I'm going to do this. And so they kind of start out with the same thing. Well, Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older daughter, and this is very important, her name was Leah. And the name of the younger, which Jacob's already kissed and wept over,
Yeah.
is Rachel. And so, of course, that is that's the woman that he wants. And Leah's eyes were weak.
Mine says delicate.
Let's just go ahead.
Mine says tender.
Yours says delicate,
Yeah.
and yours says tender. That is really strange.
But
So what have you found out, Abe?
no, I'm just saying. But the next verse, pretty much, if I'm just reading this and what I get out of it, it says Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well favored.
Of form and face is what the NASB says.
So, if you read that? What is that telling you about Leah? That she's not that attractive.
Well, this
if
is
you
what,
read that.
this is what I found out about this actual Hebrew word, weak. The actual word can be translated several different ways, but one of them is pale. Do you know the color of the eyes of most people in the East? Same as what you have and people from that part of the country. They all have dark, very sparkly eyes. Leah had special eyes. Her eyes were pale. So they were called weak. They weren't strong like the dark, beautiful eyes like Rachel had. She had perfect form, but she had pale eyes.
That's interesting.
I thought so too. And here's the other thing, because when they get married, Jacob's still a little, wondering why he ends up with Leah. No spoiler alert. Most of you guys should probably know this story
Yeah.
by now. But
Yeah.
the thing is so he never ever even sees Leah's eyes, because if he could just see her eyes, he would have known he was not marrying Rachel.
Yeah.
We think of the veil, like the bride's veil covering her face, but she can still see. No, and their weddings then totally covered the whole bride's face. They couldn't see the face at all. And it was at night, so it was dark, because it says the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah, because I keep hearing back and forth over the years from different
I have
theologians and so many things that
She was ugly.
once you read this, it says she was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and gorgeous and this, that, and the other. So if you read that,
You think she's ugly.
you just think that, she looks like she got hit in the face with a bag of nails or something. So that's why I'm just, it's kind of confusing. When you read that, the first thing you think, okay, Leah's the one that's not good looking, but Rachel's the knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Leah still hasn't been married off
And
yet,
that's
right?
why Jacob's like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. What are you doing to me? It's killing me.
She's like a bad steak. She's too tenderized.
Do you realize your daughter is sitting behind you?
That's why we put his back to her. He doesn't have to see that.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter, Rachel. Are you kidding me right now?
But this is where Laban comes in. This is where Laban lays it on 19.
Okay, but before we even get there, though, Jacob could have put anything out there if he wanted.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll work 7 days, and you give me Rachel. I think he knew that wasn't. But why not, try for something like who is going to wait 7 years to get married to somebody that you've already kissed and you're in love with? 7 years?
Only thing
Is that what you throw out there, Abe? Hey, give me 7 years. And
Would I even do that? First of all, I'm not even going to be like, what can I get? What do you need me to do? You make the deal, because I'm not saying 7 years.
I'm not saying 7 years.
I'm not saying 7 years.
That is amazing, though. But once again, though, don't you agree, Nick? That's how passionate he was over Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy kissed her and he cried.
The guy's
so
a
she's
known
gotta be a
trickster,
little.
so you think he would have some kind of plan, but he's just ready just to say 7 years because that's how much she means to him.
Yeah, you'd literally just think maybe 40 years.
Maybe he said days, and Laban was like, "Oh, you did say years."
Did you say years? Yes, years. I'm sorry. So Laban said, Laban doesn't agree.
Oh, I know. This is what I'm saying.
This is the trickster that
this is
Laban
where it
is.
comes in at.
He says, well, it is better that I give her to you than to give her to another man. Stay with me. So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of his love for her. Now, this is where the Bible is so cool, because literally in the next verse, 7 years has already gone by. I love how just in that one verse, that's all we get for the 7 years.
Let's pause right there for
Sure.
a minute.
Well, we're gonna pause
We're
anyway.
gonna get the movie going.
Let's get the movie going.
At any point during this period, does Jacob send a message back home? Hey, this is what's going on. I'm okay. I'm here. How's Dad? Is he still alive? What's going? Is there any communication with him and back home?
I said that's what's so cool about the Bible. We literally go from one verse to the other, and 7 years have gone by. We have no idea what happened in the 7 years. All we know is that it went by, it says, it was like a few days. It was just like a few days. And that's the craziest statement that I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Because when you're thinking Christmas is only 5 months away. It seems like forever before Christmas gets here, and you're waiting for it, and you're waiting for it. Jacob's waiting for his wonderful bride. He's going to be married to her, and they're going to be together forever. You would think 7 years would be like an eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he's just rolling that stone away from that well, and he's like, man, I'm getting close.
I'm telling you, 7 years.
It's a long time.
Nick, we can't even wait 7 minutes for a hamburger, dude. I'm not
Oh,
waiting.
definitely
7
not.
minutes.
I need a hamburger while I'm waiting for a hamburger in 7 minutes.
We can't wait 7 minutes for anything.
I need a hamburger while I'm waiting for
The intermission hamburger.
Oh,
That's hilarious. That's so good.